So one of the things we've heard about a lot from all of the service branches over the last few years is increasing lethality, making rounds more effective, making weapons more accurate, making soldiers more protected. But one of the missions that often gets overlooked is the non-lethal mission and the non-lethal training that a lot of the service branches have to do, from embassy security to riot control to training in theater, or also at the training at home. So we're here looking at some products by the Pepperball Company out of Illinois. One of their newest products from this year is a kind of a Pepperball pistol. Now this basically fires a paintball-like projectile, although it has an irritant in it, much like CS, that can irritate the skin and provide a more realistic training experience. It can be used for riot control as well, and not just for training. In fact, some of their launchers and some of their paintball type projectiles are currently being used by forces at Bagram Air Base to provide any kind of non-lethal riot control or crowd control measures. Now we're going to look at something a little bit bigger, a little more versatile for the battlefield that's also non-lethal. So another item you see here might look really familiar to a lot of Marines and soldiers. It's a 40mm launcher. So basically you see this, the M203 on the bottom of the M16. This is the more multiple round shot standalone, but we're not here to talk about that piece of equipment. We're actually here to talk about the round. And this is a round developed by ALS. This company is basically made, you see it says 100 meters here. This 40mm will actually have different ranges. You can get a 50, a 100, a 200, and a 300. And you want this anytime you want a standoff capability, you want kind of a crowd dispersal or distraction device, basically a flashbang. So you can use this actually both in lethal and non-lethal situations. So say you're doing crowd control at a close range, the 50 or 100 meter might do. This one actually does an air burst, so it goes over a crowd or into a high target area, rains down that flash that really kind of disorients the enemy, disorients the target that you're shooting at. You can do a 300 meter for a longer range if you're going to close in with actual live rounds and do a lethal operation. So this actually has multiple applications. So another item we're going to talk about is also 40mm, but offers a different kind of aspect, especially training. Now we're here at Sage Ordnance Systems. They do modifications on sniper rifles, so they do lethal work, actual engineering, but they also provide a whole, like an arsenal, basically a portfolio of 40 and 70 and 37mm grenades to launch. Everything from multiple impact, rubber bullets for crowd control. Obviously it would be painful, but hopefully not kill you. And then of course the one that's really been featured recently is this simunition. Basically they can launch this, do force on force play with a new cartridge each time to kind of give the effect, usually kind of a wet paint to show where the impacted. So actually troops can fire upon each other with the actual 40mm rather than just pretending that it's landing, essentially, which they do now. In fact, the Army at PEO Ammo, has developed a training round, although it's only to be targeted on buildings or areas, and then troops walk in after the fact. With this, you can do real force-on-force play, and then that provides a more realistic training scenario. Yeah. And so we've covered a lot of non-lethal stuff, but I got one more thing I think you're really going to like. So we'll go show you that here in just a second. So you've seen a lot of non-lethal options today, from paintballs filled with an irritant, to smoke, to different kind of distractions, all kinds of things in the arsenal that different soldiers and Marines can use. Now, if worse comes to worse, there's still a non-lethal option we haven't quite discussed, and that is the chainsaw attachment to your service rifle. Now, it's not lethal if you're only killing zombies. Keeping SHOT Show safe from zombies, this is Todd Souse.